Hello and welcome everyone to week 6 of the Rebuttal. I am your host, Robbie A. Shaw, and joining me this week is my good friend Shamel, who actually joined me in week 1 to talk about the Giants. He'll be joining me this week to discuss the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are playing tomorrow, Sunday, October 18th in Pittsburgh. 1 p.m. Eastern time start, which will be 10 a.m. here in Arizona. The Steelers are coming off a win versus the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Browns are coming off of a win over the Indianapolis Colts. We got to get into this Browns and Steelers matchup. I didn't watch the Steelers game because, again, I can't get them on the NFL app. I think they really want me to go ahead and buy NFL Network. That's what they want. They want me to pay for that NFL.
Red zone, man.
Yeah, that's what they want me to do. They're like, come on, man, just go ahead and pay for it. Last week against the Eagles, we won, which I was happy about, but I did not like that win at all. Well, I did like it and I didn't like it. One, I did like it because we scored our highest points of the season. We scored 38 points, which every game we had scored like 26, 28. So it was nice to get over 30, which is the first time we've done that since like 2018. But we don't really mind that, because we built on defense. So we don't really care too much about the points as long as we score more than the other team. And I thought it was going to be a low-scoring game because, the Eagles' defense, as much as their offense has not been good, their defense has been decent. So I thought our defense, their defense, is going to be real tough game. And it didn't look like that. And then I watched the highlights again today. And one thing I noticed is that the Eagles ain't have no give up. I don't know if that's an NFC East thing, but they just don't. They didn't give up. They were like, yeah.
Look, it's a Pennsylvania thing. Like, I thought they wanted to like, yo, we don't want to see in the papers. Like, it's like the Jets and Giants, Yankees. Mm-hmm. You want to make sure that you get the headlines in your state.
Absolutely. And they kept coming. Like, every time I thought, all right, here we go. They kept coming. Like, in our secondary, we said it in week 1, our secondary is not the best. Our front 7 makes our secondary look a lot better than they are at times because they get so much pressure and you can't get going. But this dude, Travis Fulgham, I've never heard this dude name before last week when Chris was talking about him. 10 catches, 152 yards. And I'm like, what are we – like, who is this? And 2, are we not even looking at this dude? Like, are we playing man, then switching to zone? What are we doing? Because this dude was all over the place. They didn't have another receiver on their team that caught passes for more than 30 yards total. Like, he was the entire team. And I was like, that kid looked good. But then on our side, Chase Claypool did a really good job.
Man.
What?
When I saw that, I'm like, who is this?
That's that rookie I told you about.
Remember, I always said, I don't know what they're doing up in Pittsburgh, but their scouting team is official. I got to give props when props is due. Like, each year, like, what's the Juju?
Yeah, Juju. And then even last year, James Washington stepped up last year when Juju got hurt. This year's Claypool. So we could go 5-6 deep at wide receiver. It's a problem. It is a problem. I like to match up
you guys with your division rivals because the Browns are playing with that confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Before on paper, it's like, all right, the Browns should be decent.
Right.
But this year, it's like, okay, they getting it together. And Mayfield still haven't hit that rhythm yet.
No, not yet. Ben, 239 yards passing, not a huge gain. 3 touchdowns, no picks. I like that. 10 touchdowns for the season, 1 pick for the season. That's why we win in these games. Chase Claypool, first Steelers rookie with 4 touchdowns in a game. Like I said, 7 catches, 110 yards, 3 receiving touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. The first Steelers player to score 4 touchdowns in a game in over 50 years. Eric Ebron made me happy, 5 catches, 43 yards, because I have Eric Ebron on my team, and we weren't throwing to our tight ends. Our tight ends have not really been doing anything this season, so it's nice to see them get into it. And the only other thing I want to talk about, the Eagles kept coming. We were up 31-14 in the third, and I thought the game was over. I turned around, it was 31-29, and I said, what the hell? And they had a
I saw that too. I
was like, and then they had a chance to kick that 57-yard field goal that would have gave them the lead, bro. And I sat there, and then when I saw they missed it, I was really nervous because they didn't miss it short. He missed it wide. So had he lined that junk up, they would have took the lead. But I did like after that, Ben came down. We scored again. We're not losing those mental games anymore. I don't know what happened to Ben last year being out. I don't. But I feel like this season he came in and he's like, you know what? No more mental errors. No more hero ball. I'm too old for that. So if I don't got to play, I'm checking it and we're going to go.
I'm seeing a mature Ben. I'm seeing him not hold. I think one of my issues outside of being a fan of Pittsburgh, he used to hold on to the ball too long.
All the time.
Sometimes he got hurt that way. You like, yo, throw it to your check down or throw it out of bounds.
Yep, that's it. But now they were showing like he got sacked in the first quarter. He didn't get sacked again. But they were saying after that, the ball was coming out so much faster. The only other thing, Miles Sanders had a 74-yard run, and it made me really mad. But he only finished with 80 yards for the game. So that means in his next 5 carries or 6 carries, he had like 5 yards, 6 yards. So
most definitely,
I'll take that. And now going into this week against Cleveland, who is 4-1. Cleveland won last week against the Colts, 32-23. So after they lost their first game of the season where they got blown out by the Ravens, they've scored at least 32 points in each of their last 4 games, and they've won. The Browns are rolling. So what are you seeing from them that I guess as a Steelers fan, I should be a little bit concerned about?
I think you should be concerned with their receiving core against your secondary. Like that Odell causes your team to really concentrate on him.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have Landry. Landry is a top dog.
Yes, he is. Yes.
And with Kareem Hunt coming out the backfield,
yeah,
it gives Mayfield a little more options and everything. And they're going to try to attack.
Yep.
I don't think they're going to wait. And then on defense, Chubb.
Yeah.
Chubb has been a problem and everything and all. Then it's a division rival.
Yeah.
Cleveland is going to play their best against you guys.
Yes, they are.
What are some of your concerns going against their defense?
Man, so I have less concerns than I've had in past years. Because like you just said, like we both just said, Ben is, I don't know how after all these years, but it seems like he's taken his mental game to a higher level. And he wants to play another 2 years. He really does. So I think there's that element where before he would try to do too much. And like we said, now he's just taking what they give him. So that being said, I kind of like our matchup against their corners, but not as much as I agree. Their wide receivers against our corners scares me. Odell, because we can't really play man against Odell and Landry. We still got Kareem Hunt coming out the backfield. And their running game is no joke either. I think they lead the league in rushing right now. So their whole thing isn't even we going to beat you with the pass. Their thing is we going to turn around and we going to run it down your throat. And
I can see a lot of play action come your way.
Absolutely.
And your secondary better be ready.
I'm really afraid because I don't necessarily trust our secondary. Travis Fulgham, I've never heard of this dude before. And he was open every time. Like, it wasn't 1 or 2. He had 10 catches.
And the crazy thing is, you don't need Mayfield to have that game this game.
All he has to do is, if they can get the run going, it's going to set up the play action. It's going to set up the pass. What I'm hoping for is the bend but don't break. We may give up the yardage, but we don't give up points. I don't like this. I really don't like this game. I would have liked it more had we already played Tennessee so we could see what we're like against that upper level team. Because right now Tennessee is number 1 in the AFC. I don't know how the hell that happened. But
I looked at this boy Tannehill and I said, wow, he went to the right team.
Right. And he sat and waited for his time. And then he ain't never giving it back.
Oh, like when I watched him, I actually saw some flashes with the Dolphins, but the Dolphins was bad.
Yep.
So now you give him a line
and a running game.
Running game. He could just be a regular. He's not special to me. Remind me of Flacco and a Dilfer.
Yep. Just enough.
But if you sleep on him too much, he can make some plays.
Tennessee is built on we're going to run it down your throat. And then when you finally slow down the run, we're going to throw it over your head. And that's the same thing as Cleveland.
My top 4 teams right now in the AFC, Kansas City Ravens, Tennessee Steelers, then Cleveland.
Yeah.
I feel like Tennessee is that third team that Kansas City and Ravens got to beware of.
Yep.
Because of that running game and defense.
Yeah.
With you guys, I got to see this game is going to be crucial.
Yep.
To see where you guys fit in that ranking.
I agree.
And Cleveland too.
Yeah.
I'm still not a believer.
Yeah. Me either.
So if they beat you guys, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe they're for real.
Yeah.
With you guys, it's like, whoa, we got this game and another game.
Yep.
So we either got to go 2-0 or 1-for-1.
Yep.
Let me ask you something. I just gave you my top 5 AFC.
Yeah.
What do you think going on in the NFC?
So right now, we got to put Seattle number 1. Only because I don't like their defense. But Russell, yes. I mean, the Rams. Because the Rams are like, no one's looking at the Rams, but I think they're 4-1. Like, quietly 4-1, and no one's paying attention.
That defense looks.
They look like that old defense that won them last.
Every time I see Donald, I say he's worth the money.
Man.
And Donald worth whatever you give that man. Double team, just straight monster.
Green Bay, can't forget about Green Bay. Because when you're not paying attention, Green Bay's 4-0. And here goes a surprise. I'm going to put Chicago ahead of Tampa Bay, and that's going to be my top 5 in the NFC. Only because Chicago finally got rid of Mr. Trubisky, and he was undefeated this season. Yeah, I get all that. But Nick Foles is a better quarterback. And the only thing they were missing, kind of like the Steelers, is a quarterback that doesn't make the mistake. That's all you need sometimes. Seattle needs Russell Wilson to go win games because their defense isn't doing what they should. That's one thing. But when your defense is good enough, you just need somebody to not lose. And Nick Foles, he's going to be that guy to not lose the game. So
most definitely. I think he was one of the best backups.
Yes.
When he started, he did his thing. I feel like Trubisky had his chance.
Yes. Too many chances.
When you watch him and you look at Mahomes and you look at Watson and don't believe that this guy got picked
ahead of them.
Dude, the GM knows like, hey, if I don't make this switch now, it's a possibility I'm going to get fired.
Right. Before we get too much further off, now we come to my favorite part of the day, where I ask you, what do you think the score is going to be from tomorrow's game? And who you think's going to win?
This is nothing against your team. I see an upset. I can see it. 36-30 Cleveland.
Wow. 30. Man, I said this in week 1. You really think they're going to put 36 points on us? 36?
I got a feeling it's going to be like the Cowboys game. I feel like Odell's going to go off. Odell or Landry's going to go off. I got a feeling against your secondary.
That's if they play. Because all 3 of them are
Odell and Landry on my fantasy that this week. I just got a feeling. I got a feeling they're going to eat your secondary alive.
And I'm not, after, like I said, Travis Fulgham, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing his name right, got 150-something yards on us. So I can see them getting a lot of catches. I can see them getting a lot of yards.
I feel like it's going to be a tight game down to the wire. Like, I feel like you guys going to score.
They're going to score. Mm-hmm.
It all depends who have that ball last, and a crucial mistake. Now, you can hear this from me today. I got a feeling if you guys do win, it's going to be Mayfield's fault on Cleveland.
Wow. And I can see that. But so it's funny. So you said what, 36-31 Browns?
Yeah.
That's trash, man. So I'm going to say, I thought about this earlier. I was like, you know what? I think you're right. It's going to be a higher scoring game, especially since I thought the Eagles was going to be a low scoring game, and it turned out to not be that case at all. So I think it's going to be 31-28 Steelers because of what you just said. It's going to be who doesn't make the mistake. And right now, I'm taking Ben over every other quarterback because I think, like I said, he used to try to make it happen. Right now, he's like, all right, it's 3rd and 16. I'm not going to hold and wait for them to go 16 yards. I'm going to dump it off for 10 and then punt. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not doing nothing crazy. I'm not forcing nothing nowhere. I'm going to take what they give me and let my defense do their job, and their defense has. Man. But like you said, I could see it being because Mayfield makes that one crucial mistake that Ben doesn't make, and we win the game.
And Rob, not to be a bad apple, I got a feeling Connor's going to have a bad game.
Well, so what's the definition of a bad game for him, though? It's like 60 yards.
And not picking up good yards.
Why you say a fumble? I would have took the not good yards.
I think you said it. Division games are weird.
They are weird. But you know what? That's the thing, too. Like you said, it'll show us who the Steelers are. This game is our first big test. Every other game is a test, but this is our first big one. But I think it'll also show us where the Browns are because their last big game was against the Ravens in week 1, and they got the crap beat out of them. So they won games since then. They beat the Colts, which was a good win for them. They didn't really – those games – right. So this is because the last time they had a chance to prove themselves, they didn't. This is their first chance to really prove themselves.
And to be honest, the Bengals don't look like the same Bengals.
Bro, I'm nervous about
the Burrow kid can really play that LSU stuff.
Yes.
Even if I'm not saying he's going to kill you, but he's nothing to sleep on.
Man, I said this a few weeks ago. It don't feel like the Marvin Lewis Bengals. It don't feel like that.
Exactly. Like, you can't go in like, oh, this is an easy win.
Oh, they're going to – if they lose –
is playing.
Yes.
I don't know what happened to A.J. Green, but they got some receivers.
And I have A.J. Green, and I literally benched him last week for Darius Slayton from the Giants. A.J. Green had no catches or like one. I was like, what happened? Like, he used to be the man in Cincinnati, and now it's like,
I think they figured him out.
Yeah, I think so, too.
Big contract. Like,
yeah. You just going to see did not play.
No more. Remember, football is a young man's game.
I feel like when you get to a certain age, like you said, you realize that it's no longer your physical game. Your mental now is to take over, which I'm so glad to see, and I'm hoping it continues. I love to see Ben throw another 3 touchdowns and no picks, because right now, that's low-key. I know Russell is the MVP. Like, I'm not even going to just say anything about that. But on my team,
I have a top 3, and he's leading.
Yeah. But I'm like, I feel like it's
Mahomes and Jackson.
I'm with Mahomes. I'm not with Jackson because he's in our division, so I don't care. So I would say Russell, Mahomes, and then Ben in the top 3. But at the same, only because of one thing.
Still a fan.
But look,
somebody my division over my guys. Sorry,
but he got 1 pick, and I'm just talking about playing within the offense, playing within your game. Ben is not doing anything extra. And I did like the last game. He said, "All right, it's a shootout you want. Let's go have a shootout." And he played and had a shootout. And Carson Wentz threw 2 picks. He threw none. We win the game. I'm taking that because that's not what Ben used to do. Ben used to do extra, and it would not work. Right now, if you got, he may not be the league MVP, but on my team, if I had to pick one player, I'm gonna pick him.
No, most definitely. I got to give it to the OG.
Yeah, for real. Playing like a true OG, not one of those I want to be young OG. He like, no. You're not hitting me again.
Especially if I'm trying to do 2 more years.
But Mel, I appreciate you always. Thank you for joining. So everyone, that is all for this week's show. I want to thank Shamel one more time for joining me. Even though he thinks the Browns are going to win, we all know that's not going to happen. I do know this is a tough divisional game and anything can happen, but I think at the end of it, the Steelers will still come out victorious. Please join me next week when we discuss the Titans and the Steelers. So again, another tough game will be expected. Have a great week, everyone, and I will see you next week.